Welcome everybody, I'm Kamil Sarji, your host. I'm the broker owner of Gold Door Realty, and this is Just 2 Minutes. I have Kevin Kearns here with Burn with Kearns.
Burn with Kearns.
Burns,
Burns
Burns with Kearns.
No,
Burn with Kearns.
not Burns.
Burn,
Or some people call it burn after Kearns.
Burn after Kearns. So the way this show works is the first 2 minutes is just random questions, and then we go into the real estate industry. So I have my clock here.
We have a timer.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
I'm Irish, so I can tell stories. So be careful.
All right, yeah. So it's 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
And, just
By the way,
answer the questions. I don't have many, so
please do.
So
Fire off.
okay.
Ready, hit the timer. I'm
All right.
ready. I'm ready.
Not too fast.
Okay.
Fast, but not too fast.
That's fast enough.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Doesn't make sense to me, but okay. We will start.
Go.
All right, ready?
Yep.
And go. All right. So, do you believe in love and swimming?
Love and swimming? Yes, both.
You do? No, I mean like together.
Love and swimming. Or love in swimming.
Love and swimming.
Love and swimming. Yeah.
You do. You know what I'm saying, right? Like someone falls in love and they swim together, and they're like, oh my God,
Well,
love
you know,
and
like,
swimming.
Like the Olympics, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like that part of the sport, but yes.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad you believe in that. So ever wear your left shoe on your left foot and the right foot in the left shoe and do the cha-cha slide?
So everywhere, you gotta throw in that by me. So everywhere your left shoe and your right foot and your right
Yeah,
shoe.
and then do the cha-cha slide.
No, but I've worn my shoes on my hands just for, shits and giggles.
So you've never done that with the cha-cha slide or any other dance?
No, but I can dance.
Okay.
I'm lucky.
All right. What's the coolest Lego thing that you've built?
Oof, that would have to be a TIE fighter from Star Wars.
Really?
Yeah.
You from scratch, or you had to put it together?
Put it together.
Wow, that's amazing. Have you ever thought about changing your last name to Burn?
And you know what? It's funny that you said that because a lot of times when I've done trade shows, people will come up to me and go, Mr. Burn. I'll go, well, what's Kearns?
So you have thought about it?
I have thought about it.
Okay. Yeah, it's pretty badass.
I'll put it as my middle name, Kevin, instead of John. My father would roll over in his grave. Kevin Burn Kearns.
Burn Kearns. Okay, so what's your game plan in a zombie apocalypse?
Oh, game plan of zombie apocalypse is at least have the woman in love with, we'll take out one sword. I take out the other sword. She looks at one side on the right. I take a look at the left side. Whoever comes back with more heads doesn't buy drinks.
Wow.
He's like,
If there are any drinks, wow.
he's like, you thought that out.
Yes. Really? You do have a plan?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. All right. I have to watch that again because that was so fast.
I got you so good with that one. Yeah. Camille's like, he's actually thought about this. Baby,
Yo.
you take the right, I'll take the left. Whoever comes back with more heads doesn't buy drinks.
I'm glad you have a plan. I mean,
Absolutely.
self-defense is
Huge.
important.
Huge.
So Kevin, tell me about you. Like, I'm really curious to hear
Oh, okay.
about
My favorite
how
subject.
you first started.
How I first started. So let's jump back. You'll notice how I have a wedding ring in my right hand, okay? But that's not my wedding ring. I'm divorced the whole bit. This is my dad's wedding ring. So my dad passed, unfortunately, when I was 12. Oh. Great guy, just drank too much. He actually passed at 48. And I'm gonna be 58 next month, believe it or not. 58. Anyway, that's not from Curls for Girls either. I gotta have fun with this. It's not. Curls for Girls. Anyway, that was when you were 17. When he passed, I got bullied as a kid. I was a late bloomer. I was always a kid that was a step behind. It's actually the title of my first book is Always Pick Last. It's my first book that's on Amazon. And I stunk at every sport. And then what happened is my father passed. The bullying got worse. Thank God a close uncle taught me taking karate. I am the original Karate Kid. Legit. I am legit the original Karate Kid. I got so infused in that, and he thought, wow, he's like, wow, he'll learn how to beat up the bullies and that'll be done. Nope, I've spent 4 decades now in martial arts.
Well, so I know what bullying is nowadays, like with social media. What was it back then?
Let's see, getting thrown downstairs, windows broken in my mother's car, kids picking on you multiple times, you name it.
Wow, that's professional bullying.
Yeah.
Now they're just amateurs.
Yeah, now they're like, oh, they didn't like me on TikTok. Really? You worried about that? I went from there, and my mother did something very smart. And I tell people this all the time. I had to be 21 when I was 12. I had no choice. So she kind of pushed me away because I kept going to her and I had to stand on my own 2 feet. I'm from Everett, so I'm from a poor city, a blue collar city, grew up in a 3-family. And what ended up happening is my father was the building inspector. So he was very good at communicating with people. My mother was too. So that's where I get my rapport. What it taught me when my mother pushed me away, it's okay to ask for help. So I went to the guys in the dojo in our martial arts school that looked like big gyms and G.I. Joes. I'm dating myself when I say big gym. And we had a weightlifting room. They said, hey, can you guys teach me weightlifting? So at 14, I was like $130. I started lifting weights. I didn't know I was strong. Within 2 years, I was 155 and I was bench pressing 320.
Amazing.
At 17, I didn't realize I was strong. My first love was martial arts. Then I got into karate, but then I got into multiple different martial arts. Then I got into weight training. And then I actually fell into exercise physiology. So I got my degree at UMass Boston. You know, people always say when I go out and I do talks at schools on my anti-bullying system, I do mental health talks because I have a book on mental health. But I'll do talks at schools or career days, and they'll say, well, Coach, how did you get started? What was your plan? I go, my plan was no plan. You know, what's that old joke? And I'm not trying to get religious. If you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Because he's going to go, I don't have that. No way, that ain't going to work. It's just like success. Look at your success. Has it been a straight line? It's never a straight line. I tell people all the time, I go, success isn't a straight line. Life isn't a straight line. Relationships aren't a straight line. They're all over the place. It's all jagged. That took off. I got such a love for exercise physiology. I literally started my company in 1990. I worked for a personal trainer in my internship.
This company, Burn with Kearns.
Well, the original company was the Fitness Connection. Then it became Burn with Kearns, and I'll get into that in a second, but it's a good question. And when you think back, I'm dating myself now. This was 1987, 1990. The only people that had personal trainers was Madonna. So that developed, you know, people were starting to do it in gyms the whole bit, and then it started catching fire, and then I did my internship with another personal trainer. Then I broke off on my own. I didn't know what I was doing. My ex-wife, my girlfriend at the time, ex-wife now, I was going to go look for another job after I left that other guy, and she says, why don't you just start your own company? I mean, the way we were raised, and I'm sure we're almost the same age, you're probably way younger than me, but...
I'm 32.
You're 32? You're 82, right? 32. 32. Okay. So the way we were raised is you go to school, get a degree, and then you go work for a company. Well, that's not the reality anymore, is it? That didn't happen. I never thought about starting my own business. And when I started with my Boston accent, if you can't tell, started my own business. So when you think about it, I had no clue what I was doing. I was living in my mother's house. Couldn't wait to get out of it after I graduated, but I didn't have the money. So I literally started this company as an afterthought. Had another job at Boston Athletic Club. Then I was a fitness trainer, had another job on the side, and then I was taking care of a stroke patient 3 hours a day in exchange for rent in Pembroke, and my company started.
So what exactly did you do with the company?
You know what I did? Thank God we had a very big family, close family. My uncle had a flea market, so I became a paper boy at 12. You learn how to sell really quick, and you learn how to take care of your customers. So I always recommend these young kids, get a job, right? Because you have to learn how to customer interaction skills. So guess what? The paper ends up there at their house at 6:05. You get a bigger tip, more money. My uncle had a flea market. He had like a booth at a flea market, and he sold tools. So he would put me up front as, you know, I was the hook. Hey, come on, get your axe handles for 50 cents. And I had my little change thing, and I started rapping with these. 13, I'm rapping with these people, and I said, you guys want some tools? Go back and see my uncle. My uncle will bring them in, sell them tools. That's how I learned how to sell. So what happened is when I started the company, came as an afterthought, and I literally would go to Gold's Gym in Braintree. I lived in Pembroke. I'd go to Gold's Gym in Braintree, and the minute they opened, and I would start walking around the floor talking to people. Hey, that's great how you did that, but let me show you a better way to do that that's more effective. And
as far as what?
As far as training them.
With
personal training.
Oh, okay. So you did.
I would show them.
Sales and like.
No, this was my own business. I wasn't even doing sales. I was selling meat.
Selling you, yeah.
Which is the easiest thing to sell, I tell people. Because as you know, in your business, whether you have brokers under you or not, you have to tell them, even though you work for me, you have to be your own brand, right? You have to be your own brand. And I tell people all the time, you have to be your own brand. Now, fast forward, people said to me, oh, we'll see what happens in 5 years. 5 years went by the company.
Why would you say that?
Because don't forget, this is 1990. Nobody hired anybody was personal training. Nobody's personal training. What's a personal trainer? Yeah. My mother almost, can I swear? I can't swear, right? She almost pooped a brick at my wedding when I had 30 clients at my wedding. Literally 30 clients. So my business went from here to here overnight. My business went from 20 grand to 100 grand within 3 years.
That's awesome.
And I was just, I mean, I'm relentless anyway, but I was relentless. I was up at 3 a.m. First client was 4:30. By the time people were having lunch, I'm thinking about lunch at 10 a.m. And I would just flat out go and then stop and then go again. And I would work 6 days a week. And then eventually, one of my top clients came to me and said, let's open a gym together. Now, I believe in learning from failures.
Gyms are really tough.
Happiest day of my life is when I bought the gym. Second happiest day is when I sold the gym.
Okay.
It was in Brookline where I had a lot of clients.
Yeah.
We were doing well. We flipped it. It was a dump. We flipped it over, made it look nice, the whole bit. We had 300 members. Within 2 years, we had 900 members and 5,000 square feet. We were getting ready to sell it to some of the big gyms, big box gyms.
Can you say what it's called now?
It was called the Fitness Connection, not anymore. It's closed a long time ago. We were selling it to one of the bigger gyms. I think it was Boston Sports Club was going to buy us. 1 month before we were going to sell out, 9/11 hits us. So everybody pulled back.
Oh, man.
So nobody wanted to do anything. And then we sat on it, and then I finally sold it to one of my trainers. And I turned around and I said, you know, my marketing guy came up with this whole Burn Kearns idea. And then one thing led to another, and what ended up happening is I started training in Thai boxing. I started Thai boxing in 1995 Muay Thai. Left for a while.
Thai boxing is tough. It's like a lot of kicking.
Well, it's all shins, elbows, knees.
Oh my gosh.
I trained a lot of different stuff. I've trained that for a long time with Mark Delagrati at Situational. He's my main coach. I'm a level 2. Trained with Steve Whittier down at SBGEs, and now I've been doing more Filipino and Kali and Indonesian Silat arts, actually Burn High, SSBD. Which is very weapon-based, but yeah, it's stuff that takes care of business. I was in the right place at the right time. And I always tell people when I go out and do talks, schools, business, whatever, careers, I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, but what you have to have is skill set, mindset, and opportunity. And I'm a big fan of opportunity. I was doing personal training, then I got involved in corporate, was doing stuff with UPS for a long time. I would go out and do what's called pre-communications with their drivers, and they'd be like, the managers would like, you can get truck drivers to do stuff we could never get them to do. For some reason, they like me.
As far as what? Training them to do what?
Flexibility, strength, how not to hurt your back, because we call them industrial athletes.
Okay.
Fast forward a little bit, UFC is just starting to take off, Ultimate Fighting. So I'm at Sit-Yatong, Mark Delagrati's gym in Queens, in Somerville, and UFC starts taking off. Well, Dane is a Boston boy. Most of the first fighters on the first show were from Boston. So I'm looking at these guys, the way they're training, you know, as far as conditioning wise, and they're doing bodybuilding. I ain't giving up bodybuilding in '98. Everybody talks about TB therapy, you know, the bands, the malls, you know, Tom Brady. I go, we were doing that stuff in the early '90s. Medicine balls, bands, that's all came out of functional strength training. We were all doing that stuff back then. I gave up bodybuilding and did that. I'm looking at these fighters going, I was doing heavy bench press last week and deadlifts. I'm like, you got to fight in 3 weeks, dude. What are you doing? You're supposed to be cutting weight, right? Yeah. You're supposed to be more muscle endurance. And I realized they were training wrong. Luckily, right place, right time. A local fighter named Kenny Florian. I knew him. We were at the same gym. He goes in for a championship fight in 2006. He's outmatched. He fights his, you know what, off. You know, bloodbath the whole bit, loses, and I was actually helping him flexibility-wise, ends up hiring me. So now I have this lab rat. So I literally rebuilt him in my basement in my old house in Norfolk, because I had full gym, rebuilt him from scratch. Yeah. If I showed you the before and after from the Sean Strick fight for a championship with Kenny Florian to the Dokonami Mishima fight in April 2007, you'd be like, you have to have him on steroids. I'm like,
completely different.
Completely different. And that led to me actually ended up training 15 UFC fighters. And then that led me to do my own DVD series called Burn Kearns, The Basement Tapes for MMA Conditioning.
When did you come up with your first book?
My first book was 2011.
2011, okay. Well, first book, how many books do you have?
2, right now.
2, okay.
2, and I'm working on my first TED Talk.
Writing a book is a lot of work.
Yeah, well, video, let me tell you, these young kids don't realize, doing videos back in the day, so I started doing videos in 2005, and then we did more. Now you have this lovely camera.
I was 96, and that's when I started doing it. So actually, no, like 94, 95.
Well, you know, you had to have a camera crew, the whole bit, this, and they had to splice film, they had to do all this crazy stuff. It was like, I remember filming our Basement Tape series, December 2007 in my old gym that I sold. We had the keys, the whole bit, and my crew and I.
What are you recording, like moves?
No, recording workouts. We had, basically what I did is I came up with a formula, a 3-step formula for my fighters.
All right, yeah.
Formula 1, you know, program 1 was strength hypertrophy, program 2 was explosive power, program 3 was gas in the tank, getting them ready for basically the ring. So it was a 3-step process. And I was writing for a couple magazines, so I got well known. Plus I'm going out to fights, they're seeing me on Spike TV back then. They're seeing me this, that, and the other thing, my name's getting thrown around, this, that, and the other thing. The DVDs took off. My fulfillment company was the third bay of my garage for years. I'm like stuffing envelopes. But people don't realize, you make DVDs, and once you shell out the first amount of money, then it's all profit. Yeah. You have something in you just have to do.
Yep.
You know, like we had an investor for 25 grand to do the 3 DVDs. We lost it, like 2007 when the market crashed. And I went to my ex-wife at the time, well, ex-wife now, my wife at the time, I said, I got to do this. I pulled 10 grand out of my house. I did 3, and you know this because you've been there. I did 3 DVDs, and videoing with a camera guy, videoing, editing, cover design, had 1,000 of each made, and we did it all for 10 grand. Is that impossible or what? I begged, borrowed, and stole to get it done. And when we launched them, we made our money back in a week. I'm like, and then that led to other videos, and then it led to me. I had other magazines like, hey, if you're available to write for us, I'm like, available? I'm like, that's a little different. Considering I'm a C- in English. You know what? People say, you know, are you a good writer? I'm like, nope. I don't know why people want to listen to me. I'm good at telling stories.
So when did you transition from that to like focusing on the real estate self-defense?
And you know, it's interesting that you say that, Kamil, because the reason you say that is I've always had this marriage between martial arts or self-defense and fitness. And I couldn't find the right connection yet. And then recently, when I was working with Kamil over at Engel & Volkers, he's a big client of mine back last November, we came up with this idea. We didn't realize how vulnerable realtors really are. I think there was just something, 2 weeks ago that I think I just mentioned to you, a male realtor was killed at an open house. We had that murder in Barrington, 6 years ago, from the female realtor. We didn't realize how exposed the business is. So he and I went back and forth on this. He goes, I got a great idea. Let's just do this. Let's just launch this. Let's do this my place. I'll pay it, blah, blah, blah. Took off. Then I said, all right. And then I started investigating. I started going to the National Association of Realtors and seeing the increase in violent attacks. I go, okay, this is a serious thing. So then we came up with a concept, and now whether it be realtors, mortgage brokers, whatever, the normal process is either I go out to a brokerage and I say, hey, you pay me X, I'll take care of all the brokers. Or we'll have multiple partners. Like if you work on a mortgage broker or a lawyer, we'll have multiple sponsors. And we just hosted an event in April that we had 77 people sign up. And then we're working on one June 26th in Providence, and we're working on sponsorships now. We have a few slots open. We'll probably have 50, 60 people there.
And then you're doing one after?
Oh, I'm doing them all summer.
All summer, okay.
And then the other thing they'll do is like, let's just say like Emilio Desperado and Joe Fazio, who own Engel Volkers in East Greenwich, what they did is they turned around, they actually created a position for me. I'm now the fitness, wellness, and safety advisor.
Oh, excuse me.
Well,
I didn't know I had an advisor here.
We came up with the idea, and he's like, listen, we got to do something about this, because people like yourself and people like them are very forward thinking versus bury the head in the sand. We were just talking about the Braintree attack. Some young man the other day stabbed 4 girls in a theater, AMC theater. I'm like, Braintree's not a bad town. So I think some people would say, oh, you're paranoid. Is it paranoid or situational awareness?
No, realtors are out there more than other professions.
Absolutely. Realtors, nurses, anybody like that.
But realtors more, more than nurses. Nurses, okay, they're at the hospital.
They're there,
but sometimes they go out to the homes.
Well, I agree with you, because when you look about it, the nurses vulnerable.
Traveling nurses.
Vulnerable point is if they go in and out of the hospital. Realtors in a house, rural area, right? They may not know the buyer.
Abandoned house,
bad area. Who knows? It could be almost anything. What was it? 2 months ago, a realtor was shot because they tried to get somebody out of a house in Florida. Somebody was squatting. The guy shot him. So, you've got to be really aware of what's going on. I've worked with military, law enforcement, you name it, the organization. I work with a bunch of them, and they all say situational awareness. You have to be aware. Yeah. And here's one of the best things.
So show us some of the tools you have. So what are these?
Okay, this is a normal tactical flashlight. Of course, brand it.
Which every realtor should have when you're going in a basement or there's no light. You need a flashlight.
Blinding. Plus, we use this as an impact weapon. So if somebody grabbed you right on their wrist, all about 8 pounds, that's it. And it's portable, plus it's blinding. And you can literally go anywhere with this. I've traveled to Japan with this. Nobody's taken away from me. The smaller version is a little cuter, okay? Very much more portable.
It is cute.
But you'll notice it's beveled at the end, because one of the things that happens is, say you did come up across an attack and you scrape, because we teach people to scrape across the eyes the whole bit. The attacker takes off. Now you have this DNA to bring to the police.
Oh, okay. So what's the purpose of that? Is the intention of having those on the edge there?
Because it hurts like hell, especially if you get hit in the eye.
That's the only reason they invented that or started doing that?
Yep.
Is for breaking and scraping.
The military idea was that to scrape, because in a lot of Filipino martial arts and Indonesian martial arts, one of the things they'll do is they'll do an eye flick so you can't see. If you take out a sense.
I've seen it with the sand, sand.
Not even sand, just your eye, just flick. Or one of the things we teach.
Flick like that?
If I hit you in the eyes, you'll blink.
Oh, hit in the eye. Okay.
Oh yeah, we call it a wipe. Just wipe across the eyes. People can't see.
It's not fair. Like if you're having a street fight and someone grabs sand and throws it, that's not fair. That's not fair.
There's no fair.
You got to play by the rules.
There's no fair.
Why?
There's no fair because
everybody has to follow rules.
Nowadays, people are carrying these.
But in a street fight, you can't take that. You got to be honest and be like, we're only going to use fists. We can't punch below the waist.
Do you think this is 1950? Is that what you're thinking?
1950, I stood like this. Irish. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, you Irish?
Yeah, half.
Yeah, I wasn't
half
making.
Italian.
Okay, I wasn't making.
That's why I can tell stories. And cook, make pizzas.
So street fights nowadays, they bring that.
They bring anything. There's no rules. It's funny that you brought that subject up because when you look back to World War II, so when you think about World War II, we had this huge push of 19, 20-year-olds coming on board, right? And now we're facing the Japanese, which are a samurai culture. They taught martial art techniques. So Rex Applegate and Douglas Fairbanks, two colonels, had to come up with these digestible self-defense techniques, or basically combat techniques from, it was called CQC, which I'm a little versed in, close quarter combat. And it had to do with all defend themselves against this. And you got to literally reprogram their mind because, like you said, oh, it's not a fair fight, gentlemen. Like, no, you can punch in the groin, you can eye gouge, you can do all that stuff.
Actually, it was worse before that. Remember how they had to take 10 steps and then turn around and shoot each other? That's messed up.
Yeah.
And sometimes people would turn around without even 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah, and then
they shoot.
Yeah.
That's not fair.
No.
That person needs to be put in jail.
I don't think that's why I always tell people, I go, listen, I go, there is no fair. You're on the ground, get off the ground as quick as you can. Quick as you can, because their buddies are around. I've seen plenty of street fights that end up 3 or 4 people jump in, there's beer bottles, the whole bit, everything going on.
So why would someone carry this around?
A knife?
Yeah.
Because they have intentions of hurting people?
My dad carries one. Does he want to hurt?
No, I've got a bunch too.
You want to hurt?
No.
Okay.
Because you know what? You can still have this as a tool, because that's what I believe, and you can still have this as a tool. Plus, if you don't open it, I can still use it like this as an impact weapon.
Okay.
If I have to open this side, then we have a problem. If I'm just standing there holding this and you don't know it, and even if you have a knife, I'll destroy your knuckles, I'll destroy your arm.
So as far as defending yourself with a knife, people come at you in different ways, but sometimes they're not trained on how to attack someone with holding a knife, right? They're holding it like that. I'm going to stab you, or I'm going to stab you.
That's the Jason one. That's the easiest one to
like this.
defend. Well, not bad. You kind of get the idea.
Oh, like that. I'll stop them.
No, this way.
Oops.
I can show you on camera.
Maybe after.
No, that one, if they come in this way, that's known as ice pick or pakal in Filipino arts. That's this, okay?
Ice picking style.
Oh, ice picking. And really, the only thing you're going to really get is your neck, that if they hit you in the vulnerable area. If you shield here, you can literally strip the knife out of their hand. It's so easy. It's very easy. So most attacks are either this, slash down, or in.
So you do train on how to defend yourself if someone comes at you with a knife?
Yes. We train how to use a knife, we train how to
With
counter.
no weapons. If I had no weapons?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
See, the Indonesian and Filipino arts, even some of the Thai arts, Indonesian and Filipino arts, basically what happens, you start with a weapon because the weapon relates to no weapon. Versus a lot of other martial arts, and that's not the downgrade of the martial arts. I love all martial arts. You start without a weapon to go to a weapon. So it's all based on what's called angles, okay? You basically X the body. So you basically follow the same trajectory as a bladed weapon would. So in other words, if I came down, most of us punch like this. People think boxing's Western, it's not. Boxing's from the Philippines, it's called Pantukan, literally. Like if you want to see somebody with phenomenal footwork, look at Manny Pacquiao's footwork. Manny Pacquiao's root martial art was Filipino Kali, stick fighting. That's why he can go from conventional to southpaw. It's all based on triangles.
So I'm in a fight, or I'm about to get attacked, and they're not being fair because they take out
There is
a
no
knife.
fair, forget fair.
And I have a gun.
Shoot 'em.
Because they're not being fair, I can shoot them.
Yeah.
No problem with the law.
I don't have, no.
Okay.
I got scared.
Okay. Now, if I didn't have a gun, I can use other things. Like if there's a chair, throw a chair at them, right?
Chair,
or should
whatever.
I just keep holding the chair, or just run?
Use it. Anything to bridge the gap between the knife and you, you're fine.
Okay. Table probably too heavy, but
Table's too heavy. I'll keep the table from them.
or just run.
You
Like
can even use a baseball hat.
baseball hat.
Yep.
Interesting.
Like you literally put your keys in a baseball hat, smack them. Seriously, hurts like hell.
I don't carry keys.
That's an Indonesian trick.
I gotta get the flashlight because I don't carry keys.
Oh, well, guess what? That one's yours.
No.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
You just need a battery.
And it says burn with Kearns.
Yes, it does.
Oh, that's so cool.
Just need it has a flashlight. There you go. You're good.
Oh man, thank you.
You're welcome.
So I just want to talk about the training and any martial art training. How come they're like so rough? Like let's say I want to learn martial arts. I'm nervous. I don't want to get punched or like squeezed or like. Why do they do that? And
Well, it depends on the martial art. When you look at judo came out of Japanese jiu-jitsu, right?
they do that a lot. They like put your wrist and you like okay, and then you tap in on the thing. Like I get it. You're strong. Like why are you?
Well, if
still
you put people in
squeezing?
joint locks, and a tap means you would break my wrist if you went any further.
Yeah, but why do that to a student?
Well, they're not putting them, they're just putting them in the lock is applied. It's known as live training. You can sit there and punch the air all you want, but if you don't have some live training, it's not gonna work.
Okay.
And you can go as hard as easy as you want. I mean, you know, it depends on the teaching, because I've been with plenty of teachers that went too hard. I've been with other people that were perfect. And then we have a saying in the Filipino and Indonesian arts, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. You don't go fast.
Have you ever seen or been in a situation where they're training and they do break something?
No, but I've seen people get injured because the teachers were uncouth or unethical.
Unbelievable, those teachers.
It happens. But you know, at the end of the day,
because the student's trying to be cocky and say, yeah, I'm ready, I can do it. And then the teacher's like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson.
You could say that to a personal trainer. You can say that to a transformation coach like me. You could say that to a yoga instructor, somebody they push too hard, right? You can say it to anybody. You can say that to a broker.
Yoga instructor's okay, but goodness, the training thing, like they break your wrists. Can I just say, all right, I'll do the training, but wrists are off limits. Like you cannot do
wrist is one of the worst breaks.
Yeah,
wrist
like
break.
Crotch punching, that's fine, but don't do the wrist.
So it's okay, punch me in the crotch, make my
Yeah, but not that hard. Like hard, but not that hard.
So you're gonna pick.
But don't touch my wrist. Like please don't break my wrist.
Do you have a problem with the wrist?
Yeah, I type on my phone.
Oh, but if you're peeing blood, that's okay though, right? If you get punched in the.
That's temporary, I think.
It depends on how hard you get hit.
Okay, fine. Wrists and crotch is off limits.
Well, if you're worried
anything
about
else,
but if you're worried about typing, right, that's why they can speak dictation, right?
Yeah.
So you're out of that.
I gotta unlock my phone.
Well, you can still do face. You pick it up.
Yeah, sometimes it's like, no, I'm not gonna take your face. I want you to type in your full password.
That's why you do the nose thing.
Oh my gosh. And it's like an hour to get into my phone. Okay, so can I say that into a train? Like, I don't want to do live training, or how do you do? What do you do in your sessions?
We'll cover things that the things that we cover is simple basics. It's all basics, okay? The one that we have coming up on June 26th in Providence.
Which this will be aired past that. It'll probably be aired in August.
We'll have another one on August 8th. I'm having them all the time. Just go to burnwithkearns.com. You can see our whole schedule. Burn with Kearns, not Burns.
Yeah, that's another guy.
Not Mr. Burn either.
Yeah.
What we do is we take a combination of the dependent attacks that happen on a regular basis, like the one-hand wrist grab, the front choke, the rear choke, and we go through those scenarios with people that we've gotten from law enforcement feedback that this is what attackers are doing now. This is what attackers are doing. Like one of the big ones now is the hair pull or the backpack pull. That's one of the ones we do.
What do you mean ask cops about what people are doing now?
Because violent attacks.
As opposed to like 10 years ago? It's different?
Yeah.
Really?
People weren't wearing backpacks as much.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Think about it. You know,
Yeah.
you had, what was it, 3 weeks ago, the guy in New York put a belt behind some woman's neck, pulled her backwards, dragged her behind. Who's done that? Nobody's done that before. Dragged her behind a car, raped her, right in New York City. You know, I mean, who does that? Who carries knives in a theater?
Yeah.
You know, that's the crazy stuff. So yeah, you basically we teach them the basics, basically blading their body. So what I usually tell people, when I do a lot of work with domestic violence shelters or my workshops or my classes, I say, listen, here's the thing. Use your brain, your mouth, and your legs to get out of danger. Your brain, your mouth, and your legs. Once they break the 6-foot barrier, all bets are off. Because that's the 6 feet is where it gets dangerous, where they can close in on people. Like one of the old things that people used to do is this, because now people are getting back to watches now, because the Apple Watch, and this is legit from law enforcement, FBI, these are the people I learned from. A scumbag would say, if I can say that, but they are scumbags, a scumbag would say, do you know what time it is? The minute you look at your watch, even though they're 6 feet away, they're on you. Literally, they're on you. Or do you know where this street is? You turn, they're on you. That's how it worked. I did it. We were at a cocktails and conversation for realtors with Jacob Belt just recently. I brought a guy out, and I noticed he had a watch. I'm 6 feet away from him. I go, Dan, do you know what time it is? The minute he went like this, I got in on him, tapped him in the head. He was like, I never thought of that. Because the brain can only focus on one thing at a time.
How strong was the hit? Like,
I just tapped him. I just let him know. He was like, wow.
Like percentage from like
2%.
2%. Oh, okay, like a little slap.
Yeah, no, I just tapped him in the head.
Okay.
But I mean, like a scumbag would who knows, eye poke you, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the normal, when you look at boxing, the normal jab cross, we'll teach that as a combination, jab cross. In the street, we're not going to have them do that. We're going to go eye poke, throat jab, right here.
Yeah. If I'm out there and like someone asks me like, what time is it? Or do you know something? I'm like, I don't speak English. And I just run away.
Well, but you just said you just spoke English though.
But it works. For some reason.
The biggest thing I tell...
Because they can't, you know, they're trying to get you to do something and you say, I don't speak English, and then you walk away.
The biggest thing I tell realtors, whether they're in an open house, wherever, don't lose eye contact. Always make eye contact.
And something that's very important is if you're aware of your surroundings, you can kind of, I'm always like on full alert. Like when I'm going somewhere with my wife, I'm always assessing the situation.
I can't, you know what, because we grew up, you know, 9/11, everything that's happened, the marathon bombing, you can't help but be on alert. And the way I've been trained, like when I went out to that event and there was 30 people in the audience, and I picked up 2 guys that had these in their pockets. Nobody else knew.
Wow.
You know, I'm not the smartest guy, but I know enough to look. And my girlfriend knows too. You know, almost always we're at dinner, my back is facing the door. I'm assessing the exits. I can't help but scan the room and see who isn't. If something looks off, I just like, you know, I was training her in a park in Pawtucket the other day. 10 o'clock in the morning, you know, it's 70 degrees, and this guy comes by on a motorized bike. Oh yeah, she's doing it, she's kicking, and she's doing well, blah, 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 blah. And I thought he was just going to drive on. Then he stops right next to her van. He's probably where that is. He's like, she needs more power, she needs more power. And I'm just like, no, and I'm like, yeah. He goes, tell her to go. And I went from 1 being calm to like 8, and she could tell. She'd been around me long enough. I go, we're good here. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. So he backed off. Now he comes around behind us and he pulls on the other side. And he's got like a little pack on his bike. He's got gloves on, he's got a jacket on. I don't know who he is, if he's mentally sound, if he's got a gun, I don't know. And he's got all this other stuff. Now he hops off the bike. Now he's here and he's probably about 8 feet away. I didn't get concerned yet, but I'm still holding pads for her, but I've got my eye on him and she can tell my whole demeanor changed. Now I'm sinking lower in my stance, everything's changing. And he's like, yeah, show it, I'm a 3rd degree, blah, 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 blah. Now, imagine the guy, maybe he's a drunk, whatever, but I don't know. And he took one more step. And I'm holding pads, I looked to go, we're good. It's just a blank stare. He's like, sorry. And I'm still holding pads. And he took off. She's like, if you didn't say it, I was gonna say it. I'm like, I don't know what's in it. I go, I don't know what's in his pack. I don't know if he has anything on him. I mean, there's been so many whacked old things happen nowadays. Women getting punched in New York City right in the face in broad daylight.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, it's crazy stuff. But even people could say, well, he's not a threat. I don't know that. You know, he had a jacket on this, and it's like 75 out. I'm like,
I saw this video of this guy is wearing a jacket, big guy. He's like, I'm gonna get you. And the other guy's little, and he's like, I'm gonna get you. And then he started taking his jacket off, and the little guy like took the jacket and used it and like throw him down.
You just wrap it up. That's a judo move. Just like the lariat. You know when you have a lariat? That's a great weapon. We use that like a sarong in Indonesia. We'll wrap up your hand.
Wow.
And put it behind your back and choke you out.
So with as far as like helping realtors, you have a course that you do?
Originally it was called Be Your Own Bodyguard. We had to rename it Kevin Kearns Be Your Own Bodyguard. Now it's called Self-Defense for You. Because besides just the real estate, I'm also doing anti-bullying and self-defense programs at Pawtucket Boys and Girls Clubs. So I'm getting an affiliation now with Boys and Girls Clubs. That's the kind of combined element. You know, we have the self-defense for the kids and we have the adult self-defense. Like the big thing now besides realtors, it's college-age girls. Like they're going to school, things, you know, people want that. But no, as far as real estate agents are concerned, whether it be a workshop, regular classes, anything like that, we'll do whatever they need.
So you have something else over there.
Yeah, this is
the wooden thing.
So this is a pocket stick. This is a Filipino pocket stick. Okay,
it's like a cylinder.
Exactly. See, it's light. That's oak.
Yeah.
Of course, it has my logo on it.
Okay.
So we'll use that as an impact weapon. That's what these are based on. So they'll carry these in the Philippines because wood's plentiful. They'll carry these in the Philippines. When you punch with this, you can't break your hand because now it's a bridge. So I tell people all the time. I go, if I see somebody do this, if I was an attacker and I'm trained, I'm going to dip my head. So if you punch me, you're probably going to break your hand in my head. How many professional boxers have broken their hands? Mike Tyson, you name it, they've all broken them.
Because I think they're punching with their knuckle, their pinky knuckle.
It still doesn't help. It's still, the bridge is still there. Now,
so holding that
now we
and
have a
punching,
bridge.
you're protecting that from, protecting from
correct.
breaking.
But now you have to think less like a Westerner. Now you have the ends to do whatever you want with. Hit him in the temple with this, scrape across the face with this, hit him on the other side of the jaw. You're using the ends as a weapon.
You can do it with a flashlight too.
That's the
kind
idea.
of same.
Well, that's why we did that.
Nice.
See, I got the idea working with the police departments because they had these, because they no longer use the big ones. They use these now.
As far as a big or little, is there, like, you can carry those no problem?
These, they don't say anything about
You said you went on the plane with that.
But I traveled the plane with both of these. And when I get on the plane, they will like, TSA will say, what's this for? I go, oh, massage.
Ooh. Yeah. Your girlfriend, you can be like, oh, I brought it for
for back. But the small ones even still work. This one still works just as fine.
Yeah, and it has the
bevel on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because normally, think about that. Somebody grabs your wrist, you strike, they're going to let go. If they don't let go, just keep going up the chain until they do let go.
So what's your future with helping self-defense for agents and the Association of Realtors?
I'm available. We have over 2,500 certified personal trainers and transformation coaches under me worldwide. I started a certification program years ago. Just about all of those personal trainers have some type of martial art background.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I've been all over the world.
Wow.
So when those videos I talked about earlier, we started a certification program that went global, then obviously...
On your website, they can do the certification thing?
Well, they can, no, we don't do that. I come out and do certification. But I've traveled to England. I've been to England, I can't tell you how many times. Texas, Okinawa. I mean, this went all the way to Okinawa. Nobody said a word. So we have them all over the world. So the idea behind helping agents is if somebody needs me, they're like, okay, let's set up a program, do a demo, whatever.
Have you thought of going nationwide with this
Absolutely. Why not?
program for realtors?
Why not? Sure, I'm up for that. We have plenty of contacts, we have plenty of people. And I think the best way to do it is either we work with one shop, like as I mentioned, I'm now Engel and Volker's East Greenwich Safety, Fitness and Wellness and Safety Advisor. So we have both aspects. It's not just the self-defense, we have the fitness aspect because you have to stay in shape too, right? Because obviously staying in shape for your brain and your body and everything else, because what good is all making all that money if you're not going to have it? So you have to make a deposit in your fitness IRA. That's my pitch. Plus fitness actually.
And life insurance.
And exactly, especially when you do the self-defense training, especially the Thai box and things of this nature, you're also getting a workout. So as far as nationwide, let's do it. I mean, I'm trying to work with the Beverly Carter Foundation. I've reached out to them. National Association of Realtors, I want to write for them as well. I mean, a couple of the bigger outfits like Engel Volkers in Manhattan are talking about making me a preferred vendor for them for the North Americas.
That's cool.
Because we can just spread this. Because the good part is I've been in the fitness and martial art business so long, I've got contacts everywhere.
So wait, how does, if an agent wants to get started, what do they do? Go to your website and
Go to my
sign up?
website, or better yet, here you go. Look, I'm old school, my phone's over there. 508-404-8503. I have a phone, I actually use it and I pick up. They can go to my website, they can go to my LinkedIn.
But I'm saying, like, what kind of programs?
It's all listed on there.
Oh, okay. So you have different things.
From the Be Your Own Bodyguard, now called Self-Defense for You, to the anti-bullying, to the wellness transformation, you name it.
Okay. Open house defense.
Whatever they want.
Stuff like that.
What we're gonna do, and I'm keeping this quiet, what we're going to do is, with Engel and Volker's East Greenwich, we're actually gonna go through situations that realtors will come up across, and we're gonna video them and put them into a library. Educational
Awesome.
library.
All right. So eventually on your site, you're going to have
That'll be coming real soon.
more things. Okay. Very cool.
We have a ton of workout videos and this bunch of self-defense stuff on my YouTube channel too.
Awesome. Kevin, thank you very much for stopping by
Thank
today.
you. Anybody want to see him go into wrist lock?
Oh, my wrist. I said it's off limits. And crotch. All right. Yeah. Thanks for stopping
Thank you.
by. And
Stay safe out there.
You're going to point together.
2 minutes.